Welcome to University, a podcast for young people navigating life's big transitions. I'm Annmarie Cheresso, your host. On University, you'll hear stories from college students, you'll get tips from experts, and occasionally you'll hear from a parent's perspective on how to manage this time of change in your life consciously. Find yourself, find your purpose, find your people, and pursue you fearlessly. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Annmarie.
So, you ready to recap Meredith and being genuine?
Yes.
I want to start by saying that I thought Meredith was really brave. I want to kind of highlight that I thought she was really brave and courageous. What's something that stuck out for you?
Just like a couple words of what I thought of her. Aware. I just thought she was really aware.
Yeah, she was really aware.
Impressively aware.
Yeah, that's true. So what I want to talk to our listeners about today is the idea of being genuine. Like, what does it really mean? Because we talk a lot about it. And I was coaching someone the other day, and this was really important because there's I've been coaching this person for a couple of years, and there was a light bulb moment about what it means to show up authentically in your relationships. So I want to share that a little bit here. And then I want to share about why it's important to be genuine and how do we actually do it.
Okay. Yeah, because authenticity in relationships, I walk around thinking I'm the most authentic person in my relationship. And then there's times where I sit in it and I'm like, oh, you're kind of withholding things. And I'd be interested to know what that light bulb moment was.
Yeah. So that was funny that you just said that, because you said I sit in it and sometimes I realize that I'm withholding things.
Yeah, it withholds.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to get back to that.
Okay.
All right, but here's the light bulb moment that I had with this client I was working with. He was talking about how he was trying really hard to be positive, and how he's been really stressed and actually has some anger and frustration and has not wanted to bring that to his close relationships because he doesn't want to burden people with his stress or his anxiety or his frustration or his anger or any of those quote unquote negative feelings.
And he doesn't want to be seen by them in that way, probably too, a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what comes up for me. I'm sorry, so I'm putting that on him. What comes up for me is why I don't bring that stuff, because I don't want to be seen as that person.
Yeah, you don't want to be perceived that way, right? So you're trying to control how people perceive you.
Yeah.
Right, so it's the opposite of being genuine or authentic.
Right.
So what Meredith is so brilliantly and courageously doing in her life that she learned at a really young age is showing up authentically means just being all of me, regardless of what other people think, which is an incredibly hard thing to do in life because we all care about what other people think, right? I mean, it's just like we want to be accepted by others.
Right.
We want to be liked.
Yeah. We want to be accepted by others, by teams, by colleges, by
culture, by our family, by, the guy at Starbucks, wherever we go.
Yeah.
There is always going to be a part of us that is seeking acceptance. But what to me, one of the most important things that Meredith talks about in her podcast is the minute she dropped this facade of trying to fit in. She tried the sorority out and she was trying, quote unquote, trying to make it work. And she quickly realized, these might not be my people. This might not be for me. Mm-hmm. And she gave it a shot. Like, she didn't give up quickly. She really gave it a shot. And when she really kind of sat with herself, because like you said, she was really self-aware.
Yeah.
And she got to realize, wow, this isn't quite for me. And I'm gonna organize myself in a way that I'm gonna remove myself from this situation so I can put myself in situations where I do show up more authentically, where I'm not pretending. So she did that. And what she found in doing that is she attracted people like her. It became really easy and effortless. So when we show up authentically, we're actually naturally and organically attracting like-minded people.
And there's not an emotional component to it, like that adds drama to the situation. So she's showing up authentically, she knows herself, and she's not finding reasons why the sorority's like not working. She's not feeding into like anger or fear or like any gossip or drama. She's just going, this isn't for me right now.
Yeah.
Not diving into drama to then exit. Like, going like, well, actually, this place, like, she said this and she said that, and they don't let us do this and they don't let us do that, so I'm done with this place. Like, it didn't come from that place. It seemed to have come from a place where she just knew herself.
Yeah. You're pointing at something really important. Oftentimes when we're unaware, when we're not conscious, we start to put the blame outside ourselves on other things because we don't actually know a graceful or authentic way to remove ourselves.
Yeah, right. Like, so we create the reasons that we think we need to justify what we actually want to do.
Yeah, so we might start blaming other people, pointing the finger, saying something's wrong with them.
Colluding with people to make sure that we're justified in the way we're thinking and the way we're going to act.
Gossiping.
And so then that takes a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
And that's drama. And the result still is I'm leaving the sorority.
Well, often we end up leaving what it could be a sorority or any kind of relationship.
Yes.
But yes,
leaving a relationship, leaving a situation that you knew all along you wanted out of anyways.
Or we don't.
Or you don't. You just keep doing that.
Yeah, we just keep getting into drama. Often our relationships get impacted by what you're calling drama when we don't actually want to be there, but we're not aware of it. Mm-hmm. So then we start arguing with people, we start creating resistance unconsciously, and we do that as a means to protect ourselves from having to take full responsibility for just simply saying, like, I want out of here, this isn't for me. It happens all the time in relationships, like coupleships. People start to realize maybe this isn't the right relationship for me, but it's unconscious. We're not conscious of it because we don't actually want to leave those relationships.
Right, we're scared to look at it.
We're scared.
Yeah, we're scared to look at it.
We're scared. So what we do is we withhold. And it's kind of what you said a minute ago. We withhold. Now, we either withhold consciously or unconsciously. And the game we're playing on this podcast is like building our muscle of self-awareness so that we can become more conscious. So take responsibility for our choices. The more aware we are, the more responsibility we can take for our choices.
Yeah.
So in Meredith's case, she seems to have nailed that piece. Like, all right, I'm aware this isn't working for me. I'm going to take a different path and I'm going to try this out. And like I said a minute ago, what I love so much about that is when we do that, we free ourselves, A, to really be ourselves, and then B, to open doors to other opportunities and relationships that are more aligned with us. Mm-hmm. So when we're not using up our time and energy in the wrong places, we have time and energy to put into the right places. Okay, so a really good example that came up for me today, I was talking to Alyssa. Mm-hmm. Alyssa's my daughter, for those of you who don't know. She was visiting this weekend and she was heading back to school. I just took her to the airport and I said, what do you think contributed to you finding such good friends so early on in school? You've only been there a few weeks, essentially, and you found a couple of like core people to really hang out with.
In a different state.
In a totally different state. And she was really... maybe nervous isn't the right word. I think she was kind of nervous about it when we dropped her off at school. Because as I've said on the podcast before, she's never done this before. She's been at her school since she was 3. Mm-hmm. So she hasn't had to like go out there and reinvent herself. And she said 2 things. She said, first, she really put herself out there that first week. She said she was super social. And then the second thing she said was, I just didn't pretend to be anyone I wasn't. Now, for those of you who know Alyssa, that's sort of not her MO. She just doesn't do that in general in life. Whereas
she doesn't pretend to be someone she's not.
She doesn't pretend to be someone she's not. She's very comfortable just being herself. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that she doesn't want to be liked. She just said to me, of course I want to be liked, and of course I care about what people think of me, but I don't want to spend my energy worrying about it. Mm-hmm. I just the more I showed up like myself, I found other people who just showed up like themselves, and we all liked each other. And so those are the people I started hanging out with. And I don't think it was intentional. Like, she wasn't like reading books on how to do this. It's just sort of organically how she shows up. And it's similar to what Meredith was doing. It takes a lot of energy not to show up authentically. So I want to go back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. What does it really mean to show up authentically?
Yeah.
It means, first of all, building self-awareness so that you know what's authentically going on in you. So often we are going about our lives and something's occurring in us and we're not even aware of it. So we're angry, we're sad, we're frustrated, we're happy, we're scared, whatever's going on. If we're not aware of it, we can't possibly show up authentically. And what I'll say is we all are energetic beings, and we're all picking up on one another's energy,
Yes.
whether we know it or not.
Yes.
So there's that. So first of all, always the most important thing, build your own self-awareness so you know yourself to the extent that you can allow yourself to show up authentically.
And how do you do that?
It's practice. It's practice, practice, practice. So one of the things we teach is a check-in. And a check-in is a really simple practice where you're pausing in a moment and you're getting present. You're practicing the art of being present. One way you practice being present is by noticing your body sensations, any feelings or emotions that are occurring, and thoughts that you're having. That brings you to the present moment. And we'll talk more about that on another episode where we're just focused on the check-in process. But being present, like knowing your body, because your body is always your first line of defense. It's always going to tell you how you're feeling.
It's a compass.
It's your compass. Exactly right. Body compass. So once you're aware, like you're hanging out with someone and you notice, oh, I have some anger or I have some frustration, then it's about like revealing and not concealing. And this is about being brave. This is about being courageous. This is about showing up authentically. So that means in the moment when I'm having this emotion, I'm actually showing up fully in your presence with whatever's occurring in me. I'm not withholding. I'm not hiding. I'm not faking it. Because by the way, people sense when you're faking it. Like when you walked in here, remember I said, is everything okay? Because I felt like something was a little off for you. And it turns out I was wrong.
Right.
But, I sensed something was different in your energetic being.
Yeah.
And I was checking in with you because I have a practice of doing that with people I'm in relationship to.
And you know me.
And I know you.
And like, you normally don't experience me in a calm state.
Yeah, you were just energetically a little differently.
Just energetically different.
So this is what I'm saying.
And wait, hang on. You know what's interesting?
What?
Today I had a different routine.
Ah.
Like I worked out at 5 a.m. this morning.
So
normally I'd be at the gym right now. And I'd be coming off my gym and full of like
energy,
endorphins and creativity.
Yeah, so you're in a different headspace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you notice that.
We notice that in one another. We pick it up. And so what we're most craving from one another is alignment. We want the words and the energy to match. Because when it doesn't, we don't trust one another.
Yes, that's true.
So, when we're looking for authenticity, when we're looking to be genuine, that's what we're looking for. We're actually wanting one another to show up exactly as you are in the moment. This is why we like kids so much.
Yeah.
We love kids because
they don't let you get away with any of that.
They don't, and they just show up authentically all the time. Whatever's going on for them, if something happens, they could be happy one minute and a mess the next minute, and they're unapologetic about it.
Yeah, they have no remorse towards that.
No, and it's actually fine because
it's beautiful.
They're beautiful. They're like in flow. They're being with what's occurring. It's perfect.
Well, they're also gifts the same way you just gave me a gift, which is you brought to my awareness that my energy's lower, which I've been like, I feel great, So I initially took it as, there's something wrong with me.
Ah.
But then, so you brought to my attention, my energy is lower. And because you know me and you spoke up, like, it's a two-way street. Like, close relationships, like, I would encourage people to also be like, hey, you're not yourself for some reason. Like, I'm here with you. Like, what's going on? And now I know, when I come off my workouts, I have creativity, I have energy. Maybe I should try and plan my day sometimes.
Yeah.
Where I'm coming off of that and going right to work or doing something like that instead of coming off of it and then going home and eating dinner or something. So like that's information that you just gave me by me creating some self-awareness around that as well.
Yeah. Feedback's really important.
And the kids do that to you too.
Yes. Say more about that.
I don't know. Kids like will be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh yeah, they're
and
honest.
Just like walk away, and you're just kind of like, and they don't have any attachment to it.
Yeah, it's again like kids are fully revealed.
Yeah.
So they're not very self-aware.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like, and what I mean by that is they're totally in flow all the time. So if they're having an emotion, they don't separate from it. They feel it. You could see a kid having a temper tantrum. They full on throw themselves on the ground, kicking and screaming, or they're crying and they're feeling it as if they are the emotion. The thing about being an adult is you start to learn that you're separate from your emotions, that you are not your emotions. They're a part of you, but they're not you. But you still have this, but the problem with that is...
You think you have control now over them.
Yeah. You try and control them. You don't think you have control. You try and control them.
Well, you think there's a perception that you can control them.
I can try and control this thing. But that's what the beauty of little kids are, is they model for us what it looks like to be authentic. Now, as an adult, we go, oh, look, I notice I'm feeling angry, and the appropriate response isn't for me to like throw my computer on the floor and yell and slam doors and have a temper tantrum, but it's still appropriate for me to honor my anger. Or I'm feeling tons of joy right now, and it doesn't mean I'm going to go do something crazy, but I can feel and honor my joy. So what Meredith is so beautifully pointing us to is remembering that being genuine means showing up fully as you are, and fully accepting yourself, and not expecting others to resist that. So the people who you're going to be closest to are going to fully accept you no matter how you show up.
Which gives you the freedom to show up as authentically as possible.
Yeah, like we're just human.
So the two things that you're saying is self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Right? You establish that, you notice where your emotions are, you can do a check-in, which we could talk about later, but
body sensation, feeling, next thought.
The bottom line is you pause.
Yeah.
Like you pause. And then what do you do?
Fully reveal yourself.
Okay. To
so
yourself?
Self-awareness. Well, first you pay attention. Like first you notice. Like, who am I? Okay. Who am I really in this moment? And then you fully show up as that human being.
Gotcha.
So one of the things that we do is that we worry about being judged, and then ultimately we're afraid we're not going to be accepted, and then we withhold.
Yes.
We hold ourselves back.
And this doesn't mean just saying it and voicing it. It means when you say showing up, like you mean like showing up sad, and that can be saying I'm sad right now, and it can also mean like being physically sad, and like that's the other thing. It's like I'll walk in a room and be like, yeah guys, I'm sad because of X, Y, and Z, but it's all right, like blah blah. That still is withholding a little bit because it's all right, but like showing up to people physically and mentally sad is actually a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to decide. So one of the things about self-awareness is you're going to decide in the moment, does this make sense? How much sense does it make for me to fully show up in this moment?
Like walk into a meeting and cry your eyes out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but if you're at least being honest with yourself, that's a great start.
Okay.
So you're going to be honest with yourself. Start noticing in yourself what's real, and when you start to notice that you're withholding a lot around certain groups of people or certain people, and you're worried about being judged, or you're worrying more about showing up in a certain way so that person accepts you or likes you, you might want to question that relationship. You might want to look at it a little more closely and go, am I able to fully show up honestly and authentically here? And if not, is it about me or is it about them? Am I afraid? Am I unwilling to reveal myself fully? Or are they unwilling to fully accept me.
Cool. That's a good thing too, because it could be you.
Yeah.
It could be you being like, no matter who this person is, I'm unwilling to show up right now. But it also could be, this is someone that I might not want to spend as much time with.
Yeah. And this is this is practice, you guys. We're always practicing. So build your self-awareness muscle, listen to that voice inside, pay attention to how you're feeling, look at how willing you are to fully reveal yourself, recognize and appreciate yourself for being scared. You don't want to be judged, you want to be accepted, and just practice. Begin to notice the ways you might be quieting that voice inside. Notice if you hold back, and simply ask yourself, like, what am I afraid of?
Yeah, it is about the practice. I imagine some people will be listening to this and be like, all right, I'm going to text that person, tell them I'm never talking to them again. Like, some people might be like doers right now, like they have a task. But like Annmarie's saying, there might not be anything to do right now. There probably isn't. What you're supposed to be is just, what Annmarie's saying is just practice the awareness.
Practice being aware.
That's it. Just start noticing yourself. There's no action to take. Notice
how often you're holding back, and listen for that voice inside.
All right.
Don't reveal. Don't conceal, reveal.
All right, I'll try it.
Thanks, Adam.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to University. If you liked what you heard, I'd be absolutely thrilled for you to share with a friend, and equally grateful for you to pop over and rate and review on iTunes. It really helps. You can find more information and stay in touch over at university.u on Instagram or at University on Facebook. I'll look forward to seeing you there. For more information, email me at annmarie.university@gmail.com or click the link in the show notes below.